was tripping around, you see. And then I found some gold in the ground. I got the fever inside me. The first thing I found was a mine with no name. It felt good to be high on the green, 'cause in the mine you can't remember your name. So awesome sauce became the claim. La 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 la. You're mining for gold, but you're doing it all wrong. And I have to tell you now, there's another way. Down the pile of gold mining, they can show you how, and we'll even have some fun along the way. We're having fun mining gold down in the sun. Digging in the dirt is what we do. It's not really hard, don't be a puss, get in your car. Come on out to Vegas today.
Okay, everybody, welcome back again to Empire Gold Mining Show. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you guys how to make a sluice out of sewer hose. So what you'll need one plank of wood about the same length as the hose. You'll need something to cut the hose with. I'm going to use this just because it's easier. And you're going to need legs. So this will be the back side. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut the tube with this. There's a little line down the middle right here on each side. I'm just going to follow that. That way I know I'm running down the middle. It might not be the best cutter. I might have to go back to just using scissors. Never mind. There it goes. That's not working great for me. Working, just not great. Still easier than using scissors. 4.5. Now I'm going to go back down this side. So, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. I've got it cut in half, and so next step, since I've got that cut in half, is we're gonna worry about the length of this. Is 42 inches, which is 3.5 feet. So for the height of this, instead of being 1 inch per foot, I'm gonna go 1.5 inch per foot. So 3.5 feet. So there's 1.5, 3, 4.5. So mark this at 4.5. Move it down. Probably only gonna need one. Measure 1/4 inch away, because that's how wide the blade is. Line 4.5. Easy lines up with that little hole. Alright, so now I have my 2 legs marked out. These both go on the back. Alright, so I'm going to match them up, make sure they're the same length. They're not completely perfect. They're about a millimeter off. Oh no, that was just a little crooked. That's okay. Okay, so now that I've got those, I need to attach them to the board. To attach them to the board, my drill bag, there's my drill bag. Oh, I didn't bring my drill. Guess I'll go grab that here in a second. Uh-oh. My countersink isn't in there. I will be back in a minute. Alright, so I'm back with the countersink. What that does is it allows me to, after I've drilled the hole through the main wood here, it allows me to make sure that the screw is set inside the wood so that it just doesn't get in the way or anything. That, and my screws aren't exactly all that long. I think I'm going to go grab the nice long screws here in a second after I show you the drilling. But here's how we do that. I'm going to take the countersink, hold on to that for a second over there. You're going to want 2 screws per block. So, looking at it, well, I guess easier for you to see if I do it this way. I'll put the block about halfway on the wood, halfway off the wood. And I'm going to do 1 plunge. Alright, now I know where that hole is, so I can go over here and I can do 1 more plunge. I guess it helps to tighten the chuck down. There we go. So there's the 2 pilot holes. Probably not big enough for my screws to go through. Alright, that was correct. I grabbed the wrong size drill bit in the first place anyhow. So I'm going to re-drill with this thing over here. Alright, same thing over here. Lining it up halfway on the edge over here. Now I'll just put 1 through. then I'll put another one through right here. And now, I've got my countersink. Knock it off, Dusty. Dusty, stop it. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to take the countersink. And just put it down in. Okay, so that's done, and I'm gonna have to get longer screws because I know that's not long enough for this. So. Back up, Dusty. Okay, so I'm back. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start each one of my screws. Dusty, you can't get through that way. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this outer one right here that's closest to you. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sink this in. Dusty, go. Alright, yeah, it's fun. So, turn it back. Even it out to where it should be with the edge here. And I'm going to sink this one in. Tighten this one down. So that's one block done. Now I'm going to put my foot down on this, just to give it a little bit of extra pressure. Ooh-wee. Wobbly. Wobbly is never good. Last one right here. Now what we've created here is an inclined plane. Okay, now, the next step for what you need to do here is you take one of your strips of this. You want to line it up on your surface. You're going to grab a couple of screws. And all I do is I sink a couple screws all the way down that. It's simple. So I'm going to get another couple screws in here, and then I'll show you how the rest of it works. 2 more to put in. And whoops, that went right on through. It's okay, it's still holding. And then this last one. Last one. Alright, and it's done. The way it works is you take this, put it right down on top, and if it's wavy, that won't hurt anything. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight or anything. Pretty simple construction, pretty simple use. I'm going to show you how you run it. Here, I'm going to get my tools out of the way. I don't need any water near these. You're trying to be in the video again, Dusty. One more piece. Might as well grab the screws, get them out of the way. Go. Okay, so push it off the edge a little bit there. Okay, so and typically you'd want something to hold this in, say a PVC connector or whatever, or just something to hold it right here. Which a lot of times I'll just use a clamp. Which let me see if I have a clamp around to show you with. No clamp there. I'll grab one from the back. So, normal vice grip type clamp. Position your hose where you need it so it doesn't cause a problem with your clamp. And just connect. That's all it is, just setting it up too. So what I've got here is just some stuff I washed off of some parts. I'm going to add that in. Add it right here, right at the entrance. It's going to be hard to get all that out easily. There's something right there that got hung back. It's not moving at all. Alright, and let me show you what that looks like. I mean, any steeper than what it is right now, and you're likely to lose all of the heavies. I don't mind that it holds back some of these lights either, because It's generally a good thing. But with nice deep riffles like this, they work really well for a quick, fast cleanup. So, I'll drop this down a little. And get some actual dirt material. What I've got here is, I am not even sure where I have this material from, but it was sitting in the garage. This is about how fast you can feed them. Nice steady little pace. It's not the greatest pace, but it's better than panning it yourself, right? Just dropping it right in. I have no idea if there's even anything in this. But easily made, easily used. It's got a pretty good feed rate. And if this was, a full size, say culvert or whatever, like what they have underneath the roads to let the water fly without washing away the road, pretty much the same principle, which is why I go into culverts. And I like to clean out the first 2-3 feet of the drop-off area right at the front, and then I'll walk through and I'll look for any other areas that look like they've leveled out and left material where it's covered over the riffle area. And that's usually pretty good stuff. Usually, not always, but I've gotten a lot of materials out of culverts. I'm just going to feed this on through until it's done. Definitely not as fast as, say, a dry washer or a sluice. But if that's what you've got around, no reason not to do it. It's also cheap to build this. Go. That's probably a better view for everybody, isn't it? I'm almost ready to do a little cleanup to see if there's anything here. It actually kind of feels like it's tailings. I mean, it could be, could not be. Well, give it a nice steady feed, I guess. And all of this material is probably about 1/8. It could be up to 1/4, I don't know. I'm not paying attention to the large pieces. But there's a few larger pieces in there. It's freaking hot. It's like 112 degrees right now. Well, this bucket's almost done here. Oh, some fines right there. just going to dump the rest in real quick. There we go. I'm going to get a little water in it, rinse it out. Add a little water and tailings, but that's okay. So just rerun. Alright. So now that that's done, then we grab my pan and move us. Turn that off. Like always, I'm going to end up using this pan, and there is a lot of heavies and stuff in there. Holy. Oh, I know where this came from. This came from one of those culverts that I was telling you about. This culvert looks like it was holding lead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's lead. Let me give you guys a view of what that looks like there. This material here, this grayish material, that's lead. That one's iron. There could be some good gold in here. This is going to be a hard pan to pan, too. Well, this is going to be fun. Let me get this, I'm going to clean it out into a bucket because the bucket's easier. So let me show you how I clean it out into a bucket. I'll use the same bucket I was before. But first off, you start out by taking your clamp off. That's the first part. You're going to want to, very easily, it's not tricky, just take it out. You can put that into here. I'll turn my water on one more time. Not very high, just enough to get a little water flow in here. Give it a shake as you tilt it up like this. And that'll release everything out of there. Everything. Now, I'll make sure the end is clear. Yes, it is. That's why I clear out that little bit. Alright, so that's done. That's clear. And I have a very tiny bit of material that I'm going to have to work with. So I'll grab these two things. Turn off my water so I don't waste. And here we are at my little panning station. Hot out there, hot out there, hot out there. Okay, so the typical with the bucket, I'm going to shake it as I pour it out. So that's going to release stuff into the bucket easier. That way I just have a few little hand flicks of water to do to clear it out. Alright, that looks good to me. Now, there is just some old vines in here. I'm not worried about what's down there. So, I'm going to go at this the same way I always do. I don't know if you guys can hear that sound. That rattling sound you hear, that's the sound I associate with small nuggets of gold or lead or silver or well, pretty much anything. So I'm going to bring everything into my focal point by shaking it left and right now. And since I know I have a lot of lead and a lot of heavies in here, I'm going to shake it for, well, long enough, which is not what I've done already. I'm going to shake a little bit longer. Make sure all of my heavies are down in the same spot. Alright, now I'm going to start washing slowly to see what we get. There's a lot of black sands already showing up right there. There's a lot of lead peeking its head through right here too. So, I'm going to bring it back down to the focal point again. Now I'm going to bring it so that it comes to that front there. I'm just going to wash lightly. just like I would if it was the fine gold. It all pans the same way. And with how much heavies are in here, see? This piece right here, that was sitting right on top of all these heavies, just trying to pan its way out. The reason it did that is this could also have been a piece of gold very easily. So, to answer Shane's question about can you have gold in your pan and lose it without knowing it, yes, you easily can, depending on the weight of all your heavies. So if all your heavies are extremely heavy, like what's in here, you might want to get your larger screen out and screen it all down so that you can get your larger chunks of silver or lead out. So that's just going to go back in the pan. I'm not too worried about the lead, but I'm paying attention to what I'm doing because it very, very easily could have been a piece of gold. So a lot of what you see going out is the heavy irons. I'm going to go grab my magnet and show you. This is just one of the little magnets that I use. Ooh, almost flipped that over. So this magnet used to be a magnet from a speaker that I just put a socket on. What the socket does is makes a focal point for the magnet. All the magnetic forces are right here in the tip. So, I'm just going to run this across. See how it's got that? See that? Isn't that neat? Right, so if I shake it and hold this above it like this, that will bring all those heavies out and put them onto here. See all those heavies? I'm going to put these into this little container. Easiest way, add some water. Dumb dog. Anyhow, easiest way, you just take it out. What are you barking at, Dusty? Anyhow, that's how I get rid of the dark heavies. There's probably some more in there. I'm just going to leave that there like that. Okay. Back to panning. I'll continue this in a minute. My son's getting all the buzz right now. Okay, so I'm back. Here's Derek. Say hi, Derek. Wave. Hi, everybody on YouTube. No, Derek's on YouTube, huh? Yay! He's gonna watch himself repetitively on YouTube. So, what I've got here is I've gotten almost all the way down to the last of where it's just lead and other very heavies. So I'm gonna bring it over to my finishing side right here. I'll wash some of this out. Where are you going, Derek? I thought you were watching and helping. There goes some of that lead. Once again, that lead could have been gold. But this is cool lead here. This is wire lead. Look at this. Looks like wire, but you take a lighter to this and it will burn without a problem. I guarantee you this is lead. And the place that I got this from, there's so much lead here you could run a bullet factory for probably 100 years. So, I'm not worried about the lead once again. I think I've probably said that 3 or 4 times. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pan the rest of this off. Okay, I'm going to bring this all to the side over here. I'm going to do a little slick pan. You see how I carried all that over to the side there? It's going to be really hard for me to tell if there's any gold in this with all this lead. As far as I can remember, the last time I panned any of this stuff, I didn't find anything but lead, which I posted on Facebook for everybody to see. Yeah, there's no gold in this stuff at all. There's enough to make at least one bullet, though. So, that was cool, right? And if anybody wants me to get some of this material for them, I could sell it really cheap. And it's great for practicing panning. You don't have to worry about if you lost anything. It'll probably get you, like, I don't know how much of a box worth. But if enough people want it, I'll make a run out there. I'm not just going to go out there for one person or anything. But if people want some of that kind of stuff so they can learn how to pan and not have to worry about panning with gold, which is, well, fucking expensive. So, I mean, you can get a couple of ounces of lead easily to pan for like $40. So, anyhow, I'll talk to you all later. Hope you all enjoyed how to make, use, and clean up after using a Henry's poop sluice. But I was wondering where Derek disappeared too. He went off and got himself an actual chair because he didn't like sitting on a bucket. Dude, the video's done, man. I'm all done. I was telling everybody about the lead that I had. So I guess I'll let you play here in a second after the video. But there you go, everybody. Hope you enjoyed how to get one of those machines working, one of the sluices working. They're very easy to use, very easy to set up. Nothing you have to worry about in the use of it, as long as you're 1.5 inches to 2 inches above. But I saw they work great and hold those heavies very well. I was hoping it would have cleared out some of those better heavies, but it would have if I'd have increased the angle a little bit. If I'd have brought it up to about 2 inches per foot, which would have been 6.5 inches instead of 4.5, that would have been a whole 2 inches longer or taller, which is easy to do. I just put another board underneath it. But that's how they work. And with finer material, you just bring your angle down a little bit more. And the reason I made this at the lower angle is because to bring it to the higher angle, all I have to do is put a 2x4 underneath it and it's good to go. So, you all have fun building your contraption, and I hope it works great for you in the next however long it takes you to use it. So, talk to y'all later. And Shane and Kylie, this would probably be a good item for you to use to do a lot of your testing with, because you can easily run this in almost any river or creek if you have a battery operated bilge pump, which that would work perfect with something like that out in the field. You just plug it into your car battery and go. So that's what you guys need out there, something small, easy to use, where you can just dig down, do some quick sample testing, find out what's going on, easy cleanup, easy setup. So, thank you, Derek. We don't need any more water now. Here, take that. I'm finishing up my video, okay? You want to say bye to everybody on YouTube? Well done. Say bye to everybody. Say bye, everybody. Bye. Can you say thank you for watching? Thank you. Can you say watching? No, you're not gonna. Okay. We don't like to form complete sentences with our sign language yet. We're still working on that. So, bye, Derek. Bye YouTube. Bye everybody else. Enjoy the video. Hope you all learned everything that you needed to learn from this short little segment. I have a lot of fun making them.